Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Wednesday the 30th of March 2022. Today's Millwall news, we have pictures from a training session at Calmont Road ahead of the big game this weekend. And let's have a look and see who's been training. So we've got Alex Pearce, Jed Wallace, Billy Mitchell, Connor Mahoney, Tyler Burry, Adam Barrett there, Benik Afobe, Joe Wright. That 41 there, that's Jordan Gilmore. So it looks like they've got the first team in the under 23s combined, so maybe they were playing match to get some match fitness to the ones who are coming back from injury. Maybe they were playing a match. Moving on to there is Oliver Burke and Tom Bradshaw. Abdul Malik, Bisar Topolodge. That looks like Sean O'Brien in the background. I don't know who that is. I could probably guess. I think that might be Jaden Davis there behind Bisar Topolodge. Not too sure. Alex Pearce, Michael Keftenbeld, Scott Malone, Benik Afobe there, Murray Wallace and Jed Wallace, the twins, Billy Mitchell and Murray Wallace, Gary Wright, Joe Wright, Ryan Leonard back, Jake Cooper there, Shea Yojo back, Michael Keftenbeld, Alex Pearce. So it looks like we got nearly a full squad. We've got Oliver Burke there, Benik Afobe, these biceps and these what do you call them, delts? I don't know what they call them. Looking especially trim. Although, what's he training with his watch on for? Is that an Apple Watch? Is that one of those fitness watches, or I don't know, maybe. Still weird. It's training, well, not really if it's a fitness watch, but interesting. Ryan Leonard there, Connor Mahoney. We've already seen that kind of one. Danny McNamara there, and Jake Cooper. Ryan Leonard, George Long, Tom Bradshaw. And yeah, I think we're just repeating now. I'm not just going to keep naming names. Zach Lovelace, Brian Sanford. So there you go. That is it. And this is from obviously Millwall FC.co.uk. While the Sky Bet Championship season took its final break last weekend, Mill's squad continued to be put through their paces at Calmont Road by Garrett and his backroom staff. Take a look at our training gallery above as preparation continued for the trip to Luton Town this Saturday. So yeah, it looks like we do have more or less a full squad. No Mason Bennett and no Luke Freeman. So who starts and who's on the subs bench? Garrett got some big calls and decisions to make there. We're going to move on now to this story, which is a very interesting opinion piece from Ryan Loftus, and it's kind of he does these every now and then, and pretty decent stuff that he puts out here. I think this is from London Football Scene.co.uk. That's SCENE, scene. And they kind of have to, they're not really a news outlet in terms of like News at Den and South London Press, where they just pump out the news about all the different London clubs. They do these think pieces, kind of like a magazine article. So that's kind of interesting, a little niche that they found for themselves. And this one is especially interesting. It says how streaming platform Recast is proving invaluable to Millwall despite supporter resentment. So let's have a read of this. It's about Recast. At the start of this year, Millwall announced a partnership pioneering over the top OTT streaming platform Recast. OTT platforms offer content directly to viewers via the internet, and since the partnership was announced, fans have been directed to Recast to watch content previously available on social media platforms or the club website. Reaction to the change has been mixed, with some unclear on why the move has been made and considering the platform as a blocker between themselves and the club. Armed with a lot of unanswered questions, London football scene spoke to both Millwall and Recast CEO Andy Mikel to try to provide an insight into what the platform offers and how it can benefit both fans and Millwall Football Club. For the fans at the Den this season, Recast sale pitch has been hard to ignore. The advert, which encourages supporters to pay for content with your intention, runs out before every match on the stadium's big screen. But what does that actually mean for the average passionate Millwall fan? Recast is a subscription-free live and on-demand streaming platform, explains the CEO. In terms of its uniqueness, it's the ability for rights holders like Millwall to more effectively monetize their content, which they do through micro payments. Everybody is already paying for content with their attention. The issue at the moment is there's not really any transparency, and the value is not landing in the content creators or the rights holders' pockets. Engagement is generating significant value. You are paying for that content, yet the value is going to other platforms rather than to Millwall. What Recast is doing is creating a more transparent ecosystem with partners having complete control and taking the majority of the revenue on every single view and enabling the fan to choose what they want to view. If they, the fans, want to continue to use their attention and their engagement to then generate value and decide where they want to spend that, and that's what is unique. It's providing fans with the power of choice. From the club's perspective, it's easy to see the appeal of Recast offering. In a football environment in which every penny counts, clubs need to find new and engaging ways to generate revenue to compete on the pitch. The coronavirus pandemic undoubtedly highlighted and accelerated that need for Millwall. The club relies more on matchday revenue than most other championship clubs, and a year without fans has had an impact. A Millwall spokesman explained every department of the club has been tasked with trying to both find new revenue streams and increase existing ones. For us, we make money through the central advertising pot, the EFL digital agreement, program sales, and through other bits and bobs. What we hadn't done is monetize the video content, which is increasingly your most popular offering. Yeah, it's the internet age. It's going that way. It was an avenue we explored with Recast. The team at Recast were very helpful in answering the fairly long list of questions that we had about the platform and how it could work for Millwall, and most importantly for supporters. It's a way of doing it without supporters having to directly pay money towards it because of their unique operating model, so it felt like a bit of a no-brainer. So far it's been really successful for us from a revenue perspective. Recast launched its beta platform in early 2021, spotting the potential in the market to introduce a new stream of revenue to organisations feeling the pinch during the lockdown. Andy Mikel explains the pandemic affected so many organisations across the world of sport, with them unable to generate the revenue they once did from matchday sales. With all that drying up, naturally organisations look to where the potential revenue streams are going to come from. The one thing that didn't stop was the ability to create more content and repurpose old content. That's what really exposed to the industry that content is a product, but they don't effectively monetize it. And they've got a few tweets there. I'm not going to read them, but it is what it is. Understandably, there has been pushback from fans who are used to viewing content for free via Twitter, the club website, and other platforms. Yeah, but what did Millwall get out of that? What did Millwall get out of putting their stuff on Twitter for free? Nothing. Twitter gets it. Twitter gets to puff their chest out and gets all of the stuff. Mill fan Matt Richards expressed his concern over the platform. I've got no problem with the club looking at other revenue streams, but I'm not sure about Recast. I think some interviews should be free immediately to fans with no need to watch mindless adverts. For example, key manager comments, or if there was a CEO or chairman message. Charge me for watching Scott Malone and Mason Bennett messing around, as that's supposed to be entertainment. Even Wall Talks, Millwall official club podcast, could be charged if you wanted an early bird listen. But don't charge me or make it harder to listen to our key service messages from the club. As fans, we are already investing and have already invested significant sums over the years. To me, they almost have a duty or responsibility to us to deliver those messages free and easy to access. Matt's view is one commonly held among supporters who are reluctant to accept the club's decision to partner with Recast. However, both Millwall and Recast have acknowledged that acceptance takes time. A Mill spokesman person added, one of the early challenges is that it's a behavioural change, as supporters are used to consuming media on one platform. Now we are asking them to do it on another. We try to ease people in with a lot of explaining videos, a lot of content about why it's good for the club and why it's good for supporters. For Recast, it's all about helping fans to understand the benefit that their platform will bring to Millwall. As Handy Meikle explains, it comes back to us and the club communicating to the fans of the benefit that brings it back to the club itself. You can never discount the value of the matchday experience and the fans themselves for the club, but let's not forget that you can only get so many people on seats in the stadium. There are obviously different sets of fans who find that there are different ways that they support the club, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's so important that the fan who's used to going to the stadium and supporting the club in that way continues to be able to do that. But we also need to look at the next generation of fans and the future of monetizing the wider audience. Considering just how much content is out there, there must be a more effective way to make money for the club whilst benefiting the fan, and that's something we are working on. Recast understand how competitive the football landscape is. The attention they are asking for is already divided up between countless platforms, and breaking through into congested football market will be their biggest challenge. And it continues, in football there is typically more of a challenge with change because fans have got insatiable demands, but the content is very much out there. That's where it's so important to make sure we communicate the benefits of the core offering of Recast as a whole. And that's not only to the club, who are able to walk away with more money than they would do on other platforms, but to the fan, who is empowered with choice through the transparency of our offering as well. We want to ensure it's easy for, say, let's say a 16-year-old to understand the benefits of the subtle gamification to earn credits when they watch ads, as it is for an older fan to just want to pay to watch one live match with the under-23s. Once again, it comes back to us and the club communicating to the fans the benefit that brings back to the club itself. Lots of people are unaware you either buy the credits or you watch an ad to get credits, but there are many more ways through which you can earn those credits. It's not just those two options. Those fans who are going into Recast on a regular basis should be sharing that with others on social media, driving others in, and they're going to get credits in return. That will draw more audience consuming the video from Millwall. Millwall's going to make more money. Recast is clearly here to stay. Both Millwall and Recast are confident any early pushback will be overcome with fans begin to understand the financial benefit for the club. As our Millwall spokesman explains, the data really speaks for itself. We've got a lot of users on there, a lot of views on the video, and it's generating good revenue for the club without fans having to pay for it. I completely understand and appreciate that there was some negativity, and a lot of what we've gone back to Recast with, and they've worked with us to try and overcome some of the comments. The club announced in January their decision to exit the EFL digital agreement with the aim of launching a new website and streaming platform for exclusive content. Okay, interesting. Now this is what I was worried about before. I mentioned this before. So is Recast, is the system behind Recast going to power that website? So it's going to be a Millwall website, and it's going to look like Millwall, but the gubbins behind it is going to be the Recast system, or is it going to be separate? Now currently on iFollow, I have an iFollow account. I think I pay like 60 quid a month. I paid it at the start of the season, I can't remember. I think it just rolled over as well. But they sent me a message saying we're going to auto renew it. Yeah, just do it. And that gives me live audio, a live audio commentary. The videos on I followed the highlights when it comes up. It comes up like midnight on the day of a game. Later on there's extended highlights, and then later on still there's the full match replay, pre-match, warm-up, 90 minutes, and a little bit, sometimes a little bit of afters. That's on there as well to watch, so that's what you get for 60 quid a year, a subscription. Now what I was worried about is if they're going to be doing this with a recast thing, and they say, well, you can watch the ads, they're going to charge me for every little thing, because that seems to be the way of the world now. Before, back in the day, you had Sky, you had cable, you paid one fee, you got all the channels and you got all the good stuff, fantastic. But now all the big companies who make the decent television programs, they're pulling them off of these Sky cables and even Netflix and stuff, because they saw what Netflix were doing and they thought, well, we can do that, why can't we do that? And they did. So they've all pulled it off, like Disney Plus and HBO, or is it HBO Max, some other shit, I don't know, Hulu or whatever it is, Paramount, whatever. So they've taken all their programs off, kept it for themselves, put it on their own thing, and then you're paying what? Well, rather than paying like for cable and Sky, and so now they've split it off, it's atomized. So if you want to watch a whole array of decent television, you got to pay like £10 a month for this, £10 a month for that, £10 a month for that. £10 a month is 120 quid a year. And you're doing that 2 or 3 times. You're paying 500 quid a year for fucking television. Like, what? What is this world that we're living in now? I'm not fucking paying. I don't do that. I've never had. I subscribe to Netflix or anything like that. Like, fuck all that. Yeah, it's not for me, mate. Like, fuck that. Probably because I'm just from the generation when decent television programs were fucking available on free TV. Now it's all shit now, isn't it? But I'm not gonna pay extra to watch decent television. Like, fuck that. But that's where you're going, and I'm worried that with the recast thing, rather than paying £60 a season, as I am now for I follow, and getting what I get, I'm going to be paying bit by bit. So I'll be paying £2 here, £2 there, £5 here, £5 there. And then at the end of the season, I'll look back and I'll be like, I paid like 300 quid. Like, what the fuck's, what, really? Shit. What? I was paying 60 quid before, and now I'm paying all this much. So that's what I'm worried about. Now maybe they can do it where they do a subscription. Maybe they can do it where it's like it is now, but rather than paying by video, you pay for a set time. So you pay whatever it is for a month, and then you can watch whatever you want, like all you can eat buffet for a month or a year, whatever it is. So you pay at the start of the season. It's a 12-month thing. You've paid for your 12 months in advance. You can watch what you want. Just yeah, unlimited, all you can eat buffet, or all you can watch buffet. We'll see how it goes, but it does seem you're going to be paying more for it if they do this recast thing. But so, and how's the audio going to work? Now it's recast, it's video. Are they going to be doing the audio on recast? The audio commentary, and how's that going to work? They're going to have like a graphic and the audio is playing alongside it. Are they going to have stats rotating on the screen? the lineups. They're gonna have lineups and stats, or just the lineups, just some pictures which flip every now and then. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's I don't know. The club spokesman explained that the decision was about doing what's right for the fans. If we come away from EFL Digital and move to our own platform, we've got far greater control in terms of design, content upload, and all those kinds of things. Yeah, other clubs do that. Not every club in the EFL is a member of the iFollow club. I remember Leeds back in the day, they do their own thing. We've got far greater control in terms of design, content upload, and all those kinds of things, which is great from a fan user experience, but also from a commercial perspective, from an advertiser perspective. Also, we can take back control of that video streaming platform, which we hope will ensure a better experience for the fans, they said. As for Recast, Andy Meikle believes the platform will be a game changer for empowering clubs and fans to maximise the value of their content. Football can be a very complex landscape, but I feel very confident that working with different partners, whether it's an international federation or a football club, it will start proving the value to them and to the fans, understanding where the value lies. Perhaps in the future we'll give some rights owners something to think about. Should they sell the rights in other countries, or do they just go through Recast direct to our fans around the world and make it very affordable to them, rather than increasingly fragmenting the places in which the fans can access it? Yeah, I think Recast is like global as well. It's not restricted geography. Wherever you are in the world, I believe you can sign up to Recast and watch the videos, which I don't think is possible with iFollow. But that's how you go. And that's the other thing, like in terms of payment processing and that kind of thing. You can imagine like fans in Russia now. How do they pay for iFollow? Their accounts are suspended. Like there's problems going between the countries and stuff. So if they can watch stuff on Recast and pay for it by watching ads, happy days, no? They don't have to try and or they can't try and pay, because no one's going to take the payment. There's trade embargoes and shit like that. But yeah, so I thought this was a very interesting piece. Recast is coming. Now the club say they're going to do their own website. So how's that going to work? Like I said, how's that going to work? Is that going to be just the Millwall frontage and the Recast is behind it? Is it going to be a fully independent website that they're going to run themselves? How is it going to work? Don't know. But we shall see. So we're going to move on to this now. Now this was put out by millwallfc.co.uk today, but this is actually an EFL wide story. Now every now and then EFL write a story and they tell all the clubs, hey, can you share this on your website? So this is one of them crowd medical emergencies. With over 20 million supporters attending EFL fixtures each season, there will be occasions where a supporter will require medical treatment during a match. The health and safety of everybody attending matches at Millwall is of paramount importance, so fans will be reassured that all clubs have a matchday medical plan with dedicated crowd medical teams in stadia ready to assist at any point during the match. If a supporter becomes unwell at the den and requires medical assistance, then we strongly advise that the nearest steward is made aware, who will ensure that the crowd medical team is notified and that appropriate care is provided. It is important to note that the responsibilities of crowd medical teams are separate to club medical support teams for players. This season, a number of EFL matches have been paused while medical treatment has been provided to supporters. On several occasions, The usual matchday medical plan has been bypassed, with members of the club's on-pitch medical teams called in to assist. Supporters are asked not to alert players or staff on the pitch, as in most cases the crowd medical team will be able to provide medical care as the match continues. Should a situation arise where there is a need for the match to be halted, a decision will be taken between the crowd medical team, the ground safety team and the match officials, with the information relayed to the supporters at the ground. This is in line with a briefing note produced by National Events Medicine Advisory Group in conjunction with the sports ground safety authorities and football authorities. Again, it is important to remember that if you have any concerns or need assistance while at the match, then please notify your nearest steward. Now, this is interesting that they have addressed the elephant in the room. A lot of people in the crowd have, what shall we say, collapsed with dicky tickies, and a lot of people are, shall we say, pointing the finger at certain vaccines, blood clots and whatnot, but it seems that we weren't allowed to talk about it. It happened a lot, and I think it's one of those things where once something happens and a kind of connection is made, the next time it happens, it's brought up and brought to the fore again. So it kept basically happening every week at some ground. Club games would stop, games were delayed. I think there was a fan at Fulham who actually passed away. But yeah, it seems, but because the finger was being pointed at the vaccines, well, we weren't allowed to talk about it, and people were like, "Oh, conspiracy theory. You're alone. It's normal. It's normal for people to just collapse and die on such a regular and occurrence." So, but it seems they've started to address the elephant in the room and saying, well, a lot of people go to games, so people will have issues at games, especially in kind of exciting atmosphere. You might get a bit carried away, and your heart might not be able to take it. So, and not only that, but the age of the supporting fan, the average age of the country in general goes up and up and up. This is probably going to kind of happen, and not only that, but with the absolute prevalence of cocaine use up and down the country. I mean, we've just seen the guy from the, was it Foo Fighters, the drummer, his heart exploded. I was like, yeah, no shit. If you take cocaine every weekend for probably 10 years plus, the studies have shown your heart is going to be twice as big as it should be. Your heart actually gets bigger because cocaine just stimulates your heart, gets it pumping, and it sort of gets bigger for some reason. If it's because it's a muscle, so you're probably exercising it. Chemically, I don't know. I don't really know how it works. So maybe that's behind it as well. What would you call it? Your drug taking chickens coming home to roost. There's a price to pay for the kind of things you do. and that's why there's a time and a place to try these things. It's when you're like a youth in your early 20s. If you're still doing cocaine in your 40s or your 50s, like you better have a will at hand and be ready, because yeah, there's a time and a place to be doing that, and it's not when you're old. So there you have it. Yeah, people are dropping down at grounds, and they're telling you to go to the stewards. Don't bother the players, because what are they gonna do? Now we're gonna finish with this. Nearly done. The Loanwatch from millwallfc.co.uk. Just looking ahead as well, because Oloafe prepares for Wembly Day. Loan roundup. Isaace Oloafe made a return to action for Sutton United last weekend after the period out through injury. The striker replaced Donovan Wilson in the 62nd minute of Vale Park, but could not prevent his side slipping to a 2-0 Sky Bet League 2 defeat to Port Vale. Oloafe and his fellow Sutton teammates, however, will now prepare for a historic trip to Wembley Stadium in the Papa John's Trophy final against Rotherham United on Sunday afternoon. So, the first season in the league, their first season in this Football League trophy, they made the final. Not bad, huh? Not bad. Yeah, so that's on Sunday afternoon. I think it's a 3 PM kickoff. Obviously on Sky and whatnot, if you're interested in watching it. Although, here's the thing. He's only played 30 minutes, come back from injury. So I imagine he's going to start off the bench. Now that might be important. I don't know if they have extra time here. I think during the season they just went straight to penalties. I don't know if that's the same for the final. Maybe they have extra time. So maybe being a sub in this might be a little bit important, especially if there's extra time. So that'll be one to watch. Hopefully, good luck to him. Hopefully, if he does play, he plays well, and Sutton United do Rotherham United. That will be. I've got no problems with Sutton United. It's another London club, London-ish club in the league. Have we been there? Have we played them? I don't know. Maybe. Elsewhere, Joe Wright suffered defeat with Cray Runders as they were beaten 2-1 at home by Kingstonian in the Isthmian Premier League. There was no action for Arthur Penny, as he's been recalled by the Lions, whilst Alex Mitchell and Dan Moss were absent from the Leighton Orient squad as they followed up 2-0 success over Barrow with a loss of the same scoreline at Oldham Athletic on Tuesday night. And there's some of the upcoming fixtures there. Leatherhead versus Cray Wanderers. Yeah, Papa John's Trophy Sunday for 3 PM kickoff. And Alex Mitchell and Dan Moss, Walsall versus Leighton Orient. But if recent history is anything to go by, they won't be anywhere near that matchday squad because the new manager's come in and he seems to be sticking to their own players and losing with them rather than losing with the loan players. Well, good luck to you. Good luck to you, buddy. And that's it. That is it for today's video. Thank you for watching and good